Virgo Venus, this is your love and relationship reading for February 2026 or whenever you see this. Unlovable? No, not that right off the rip. Practice radical self acceptance and love yourself with all your flaws. All right, let's get a reading for you. If you haven't seen me before, my name is Podkane. I've been reading for about 10 years. We've got the Eight of Wands, the World reversed, and the Four of Wands reversed. Okay, so this is how you're showing up in a relationship that you're in right now, or just relationships in general. We'll see which one it applies as we go, but Eight of Wands moving fast, World reversed, staying at home. Four of Wands reversed, not a lot of comfort, celebration, partnership, achievement. Okay. So you're showing someone up as someone who's a little bit frantic, trying to complete something, but not quite getting there. So how about your person for Virgo Venus? We've got the Four of Swords. I think that's upright, despite the cat being upside down. And the Five of Pentacles. I'm going to take this too, I guess. Knight of Cups reversed. Oh, God. And the Nine of Cups. So they are quite content with the Nine of Cups to be aromantic with the Knight of Cups reversed, not offering anything emotionally new. They also are sort of isolationist with the Five of Pentacles, where, maybe there's a little bit of a trauma bond for some of you. They're also relatively easygoing, a little bit lazy. Sounds like all things that a Virgo would abhor. Virgo Venus, like, show me some action towards loving me and, keep yourself busy, get shit done. Hey, I don't know. All right. So what is the issue at hand between you two? The Two of Wands, making plans, mutual goals. This could also be sex issues. Ace of Swords. Just finding the right, Mr. Right, Mrs. Right. Okay, let's make some room. All right, so first, what do you want out of a relationship? Virgo Venus, what are you looking for in a relationship or this relationship? Yeah, this is a specific one. Okay. Hangman reverse. Hierophant, commitment, the Sun, joy. You don't want much, do you? The Devil. Lofty goals. These are all a major arcana and the Emperor at the base. You want either you want to be in charge or you want them to take charge, but someone's got to take the lead. Someone's got to wear the pants. That's the essence of this. With the Hangman reverse, you're not willing to take you have not. Okay, you're here watching a reading. Maybe you're being more open to new ideas right now. That's good, but you haven't really in the past been willing to take a new perspective on what you want in life. You just want that commitment. You want marriage. You want, long-term relationships. You want something stable. You want to learn and grow together. The Sun, joy, happiness, living the fantasy. But then we have the Devil here, which is just like you're this is a toxic issue with you where you're in a repeated pattern by your own doing. I'm so sorry. Like by your own doing, where you have this, because of your desires and relationships, you still get into the same person over and over again. And we're going to figure this out. Okay. I want to know who is quite content to not bring you any like romantic gestures or show you like a lot of emotional sensitivity and be emotionally open. They're more closed off towards you, just closed off emotionally in general. And they also tend to be more lazy keeps coming up to my mind. I guess that's how you would see it, right? It's just, they just lazy. All right. So what do they want? These people that you've been attracting, even in your current relationship, what do they want? They're not interested in communication. So that's another thing of the Four of Wands upright, is like just low levels of communication, working together, new ideas, not communicative. The Empress reversed. They are either not interested in being micromanaged, or they need micromanagement, maybe a little bit of the both. I've definitely seen those relationships where one partner is looking for basically a mother, father figure, or a taskmaster, or someone that's going to keep them in line, someone that's going to make sure they do what they need to do to be productive in life. They're looking for basically a parent instead of a partner and team member. And then we have the Three of Wands at the base of the deck, which is like, that's an expectation of, they're expecting someone to tell them what to do. And then the King of Swords. So they're also expecting someone to be kind of cold towards them, to be authoritarian. Okay, now we're starting to see the full picture, right? Because your standards of what you want is your own personal joy, and that's fine. But also like a lot of I mean, all of these things are fine, okay? But like there's something about, and it's not because you're unlovable, first of all, but there's something about your modus operandi in relationships that's attracting people who don't even want a give and take, like fall in love, like, you know, two meeting of the minds, different people coming together. They are looking for a parental replacement. Okay, let's keep going. So what are your fears? That you're just going to have to manage everything yourself, and you're going to have to be that replacement. You're going to have to come up with every idea and do everything with the Ace of Wands. And then we have the Ten of Swords, and it'll always lead to a crash out and the end of every relationship because you get burnt out. You're doing all the heavy lifting. Understandable. Look at the people that have come around you. You know, it's like, that's just, you're right. Those fears keep getting realized, but yeah, you haven't been willing to change your own perspective of how you're coming towards the relationship. That's why it keeps happening. So we're going to get information to see what changes you need to make so that you can attract the type of partner that you're really looking for. So what are these people's fears in relationship? These relationships that you've gotten into where the person is lazy and they're looking for a parental replacement. What is there? I can already think of the title of this video is like, they just want a mommy or daddy. Like, what are they afraid of? The Star. They're afraid of exposure of Seven of Wands reverse, their own weakness and not willing to take the higher ground and charge in their own life. I also have the the accountability card with the Six of Pentacles here at the base, which we're definitely going to take T. Yeah, they're afraid of accountability and equal give and take. Instead of just take, they're afraid of the equal give and take. And they're afraid to be exposed of their weakness. Hey, they are weak, period. Like, okay, stop looking for mom and dad in a relationship. That's gross. Who would be attracted to that? No one. But Queen of Cups reverse, someone who's emotionally not all well, someone who is unstable, someone who doesn't trust their intuition. Now we're talking about you here. There's some type of emotional self-sufficiency and certainty that could help you along the way towards getting out of this fucking toxic cycle. That's definitely part of the key. How do you see these people when you first meet them? Because I think that would be more helpful. Like, how do you get into this situation? How do you see these people when you first meet them? Page of Cups. Oh, they just have the sweetest, nicest words. They say the right things. King of Pentacles reverse, they're not concerned about money. It's not about what we own or our wealth. Ace of Cups reverse, maybe they're depressed and they're low. So it's like a fucking project to you. Okay, how do they see you when you first meet? Ten of Wands. man, they work hard for their money. They work hard. They're such a hard worker. They're so responsible. The Ten of Pentacles reversed. They don't have a financial support system. They're not too stuffy. They're not too uptight. They're sort of a little bit of a renegade doing it all on their own. Ah, that's interesting. What does that attract them to you for? Like, why are they attracted to that Ten of Pentacles reversed? Why are they attracted to that Ten of Pentacles reversed? The Two of Cups. Oh, yeah, the attraction. Okay. A Page of Pentacles. They think they have something to offer you there. So they're like, oh, Virgo Venus is going to make me the responsible, money-minded, pragmatic person that I've always wanted to be. And then when that happens, I'll be able to make all of their dreams come true, to have legacy wealth and like really great jobs and own the big house with the white picket fence and Strength reverse. They're just too impatient and lazy. That's not happening. We already know that though. Again, this has nothing to do with you being unlovable. They definitely love you for, your hard work ethic and your pragmatic mindset. Because we got the Two of Cups. They definitely love you. Okay. But it's like, are your standards high enough? Are you looking for a child replacement or are you looking for an equal partner? What could hold, okay, let's ask this. We're going off script here. What could hold Virgo Venus back in a relationship when they're looking for someone that is like a child replacement? The Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's a habit. You've been doing it over and over and over again. The Queen of Cups. So it is really down in the King of Cups at the base. You have to be a Queen of Cups to get your King of Cups. The Queen of Cups is intuitive. They're soft. They're supportive. They listen. They're passive. They're not always trying to get their way. They use soft power, if at all. So that means like they inspire through inspiration, right? They, instead of telling someone what to do, instead of creating that list, instead of having demands spoken, they have requirements to, deserve their time and effort. And it's very subtle. It's very subtle. Yeah. Working into that Queen of Cups era is what we're working on, which makes sense because the Queen of Cups is sort of like a Pisces vibe. And so to well round all of ourselves out, we need to look to our opposite sign. For me, that would actually be Virgo, which is like, sit your ass down and get these readings done. You've already like skipped 2 days of not uploading them. Where is your fucking work ethic? Where is your discipline? Right? So like, that's my issue. So as a Pisces Venus, I could relate to you what your issue might be, which is to be more soft in the way that you talk about emotional matters, the way that you make space for someone to fuck up. That's a huge thing. Making space for someone to fuck up because you already are so smart and so on top of it and you know the right way to do a lot of things. But most people don't learn through someone telling them what to do. I don't know if you remember anything from school. I sure as shit don't. The things that I've learned are through doing them. And that does involve some level of fuck uppery. So that's one tip. Your hot tip for today is to make space for people to try things and learn by doing and let go of the results because that makes them a stronger, independent person, an adult, a partner, not a child, not someone dependent on you. And that can get you a long way, either with the person you're already with or with a new partner, taking that approach. Whenever you want to step in and say, no, do it like this, you got to hold up. Don't even stand over their shoulder, like fucking walk away. Like just walk away. That'll go a long way towards breaking the cycle. And it is a long-term cycle. We got the Devil, we got the Eight of Pentacles in relation to that. There's nothing that's more repeated pattern than that. So Chariot reversed. Let go of control. The Chariot reversed. people are not for you to control. It's your own mindset and how you feel about things. That's where all your control is. That's the only place. You cannot control other people. If you try to do it, it might work for a time, but it's going to backfire because you're going to end up with dependents, not partners. All right. So, oh shit. How can you support them without martyring yourself? How can you support a partner in general? Not necessarily these people, but like whoever this is. If you're still working it out with someone or a new opportunity in a partnership, how can you best support them without martyring yourself? Knight of Wands. Woo, shit. It's kind of chaotic here. Oh, shit. Please hold. Okay, so it figures I would be doing your reading. I get a call from the state trying to ask me where my money's at. I don't need to send you some more money. Oh, God. Okay. So where we were, which is how you could help them without martyring yourself. When we got the Knight of Wands, it's an energy of taking positive action, of showing a lot of passion towards them. We also got the Hermit, which is like investigating things for them or being a introspective person as well. So this would just be like, you know, mind your own business on the one hand with the Hermit, but also share in your intelligence and in your organizational and fact-finding abilities to be like, hey, you want, you know, you're doing this thing. Hey, I can help out. I can figure this out for you, you know, or whatever. But that does not mean doing it for them. If I had a doing it for them card, that would be the Knight of Swords. This is the Knight of Wands, which is take action on your own shit. All right, let's look at how they can help you. Ideally, how a positive relationship would help you. Strength reversed, King of Wands. So not having to burden everything yourself. Strength reverse is not having to be so overburdened and taken up with all the hard work, all the heavy lifting. And then the King of Wands is a person, and this is interesting too. This is someone who is their own leader, who has their own desires, their own goals, and they take action on them. And that's their arena of influence. And it's someone that doesn't need to be taught. They're more like a teacher, really. And then we also have the Wheel of Fortune here. This is for your best interest to find someone, and you will attract them. Okay, Virgo Venus, I'm telling you, you will attract them if you soften yourself. You have too much. You're too big right now in the sense of not just doing everything for yourself. That is positive. We're seeing that here. But also having that energy of wanting to build up a person, take on a project person. You know, this person is no project. This person, it has their own life and their own goals and desires. And to make room for someone like that, you've got to turn the focus back to yourself, what you can control and what you're doing, and to make space for someone else to do what they're going to do, and understand that their way of doing things is definitely going to be different than yours. It definitely is. And that's going to require some level of compromise from you, because not everything is going to go according to your plans. But it is for your best interest here with the Wheel of Fortune. It can bring you so much growth. You've already tried this way, which is to micromanage everything that the other person is doing. And obviously that has come up to failure, so much so that you're internalizing it by telling me that you're unlovable. That has not worked. We know that doesn't work. So let's try something new and break this Eight of Pentacles cycle of beating our head against the wall and hoping that we make a whole, that, I don't know, whatever. That just doesn't work. To make space for someone with their own life, their own independence, and their own goals, which is everything that you're showing me that you want here. You've also got to make space for their unique way of doing things, their unique vision, what they want in life. It's going to require some level of compromise, but it'll be worth it. So what are you learning to do right now in terms of relationships? The Tower. Some shit has got to be let go. This whole foundation that you've been building upon is faulty at its core, and it's a lot of self-work here. The Hermit. I said it before it came out. And the Seven of Cups too. You know, there's more options out there for you than you currently realize. There's a lot of fish in the sea. You can even see it there on the card with all the fish, all the bowls. Like, which one do you want to try? You know, there are so many, like, different and amazing people out there in the world that you're missing out on because you're taking someone who's a shell of a fucking person and making them into your own image. And that's not only is that weird and doesn't work and isn't attractive, because who wants to bang themselves? No one, you know, I mean, unless you have no other option, but you do. This is the options card. You have options out there. And it can bring a lot of joy and excitement and interest to your life. And there's a lot to learn from other people out there too. So you got to look for someone more whole unto themselves with a stronger. King of Wands has a strong energy about them. They may have what appears to you to be a little bit of ego. They're self-confident. They're not coming towards you as a broken little, you know, baby that you can tell what to do. And they're like, yes, yes. Okay, master. Like, no, they're just like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Are you into the, oh, you're doing this? Like, power couple. Let's do it. That does require some level of like, first of all, self-reflection, just to say, I am whole unto myself, so that you can have the confidence to meet someone like that and not be challenged or threatened by someone like that. So I don't even want to ask what they're learning because it's not really relevant. What are you releasing in order to move towards a more healthy, whole relationship? What are you releasing? What is Virgo Venus releasing? Knight of Swords. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about. I didn't get that card here is what you need to do. I got it. That's what you need to not do. Don't rush into help. Do not rush into help. You do not need to jump in there and take over and say, no, do it this way, or you're doing it wrong, or blah, 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 blah. Like, you need to have an open mind to maybe there's different ways to cut the cake. You know, you might say it has to be pie shaped, and this other person's like, yeah, but if you do it like a grid, then you've got small pieces for people that don't want much and regular sized pieces for everybody else. And like, you're like, oh crap, that actually is really useful and it makes sense. And I would have never thought about it because it's not the way that I know. It's not the way that I've done it over and over again. So these are Virgo lessons. And then we have the Four of Cups. Release that. Okay, this is kind of a big card here. The Four of Cups represents not accepting what is being offered. And the reason why is because you're expecting heartbreak before it happens. You've seen the heartbreak happen again and again and again with these people. If you can take what I'm saying, which is to soften yourself, build your self-confidence, your whole unto yourself. You already know this because you not only have taken care of your own business, but taking care of the business of your parented child, person, adult, many times over. So like, you're totally fine, really. And what you're looking for now is someone to love you and not to become a child, right? So you already know that you're capable of doing everything on your own many times over. You're just looking for that partner. So with the Four of Cups, it's releasing that idea that the next person that comes along is just going to be another failure. I think that if you take anything from this reading, it's just to say that stop trying to get in there and do everything for a person because you're afraid of failure and you're afraid of mistakes and all these different things like that. This person can come through and actually give you a level of protection and security and support that will help you release a lot of those fears. And then you know, in that counterbalancing, they're going to add so much to you where there's no need to worry about failure because you can come to rely on this person, and it'll even improve your own dealings in life more so than if you were just alone to manage your own business. Now you can say, you know, I can count on my person to pick me up if I fall, so I don't need to stress so much about making sure every little detail is attended to and I do everything perfectly and correctly and things like that. So yeah, again, it's just that one factor of like letting go of their own learning and way of doing things and just watch and see, hey, how do you do these things? And like, hey, I want to learn from you. You know, those are novel ideas that if you can incorporate that, you're going to be chilling. You're going to find a fucking fantastic partner because you are a fantastic partner. But you're parentifying these people. Like, that's got to stop. You're looking for someone that is an equal but different person. And that means you're going to have to accept that they have a different way of doing things and their own goals and desires. And yeah, that can be tough. I definitely like have been through that and still go through that. I mean, I even had a conversation today where it's like, why are you making me make a list for you? Well, because you care about it and I don't. And it's just like, well, why don't you care? And it's like, well, I care about making you happy. I don't care about the same thing that you care about. And so like, you know, it comes back to like, well, I wish that you cared about the same thing I cared about, but I'm lucky to have someone that cares about making me happy. So if I can accept that and then just make the fucking list. And again, this is probably not your issue at all. It's more like, stop making me lists. I already know what I want, like kind of shit. But like, I don't want to make a fucking list for somebody. Well, maybe you don't want to either, but you know, it's that dialogue and communicating about like what our desires are that can take you far. So let's get a clarifying love situations for Virgo Venus for February 2026. Soul's compass. Let intuition guide your steps, illuminating the life path meant for you. And that goes back to incorporating more of the Queen of Cups energy. You already have it in you. We did see her come up as a Queen of Cups reversed, which is the negative polarity. It's reversed, right? So someone who is a little bit emotionally unstable, they're fearful, they don't listen to their gut instinct, they overthink, things like that. So then flipping that on its head, you're looking to become more intuitive and more go with the flow. So what that looks like in real life is when you're faced with a making a decision. Let's say, you know, you use that logic part of your brain. You're in no danger of losing that. Let me just tell you right now, you are in no danger of losing the logic part of yourself to take in information, to analyze it, and to try to come to a decision based on that. What you are in danger of is when you don't have enough information to continue to stress, to continue to try and try. Like, there's got to be a cutoff point somewhere where you say, okay, I've done some amount of research. I'm not quite sure what I need to do from this point to make the perfect decision. So I'm going to now use my gut instinct and say, well, I'm more drawn towards this. So I'm going to make this decision here. And if it's incorrect, that's okay, because life will not end over which fucking weed trimmer I buy. Like, that's just what I've been talking about right in my life. Just an example. What else can we get for Virgo Venus? Shadowed waters. Beware illusions that skim the surface, for true understanding lies in the D, because this is a reprint by a Chinese company and they don't know how to fucking do shit as far as English. Guess what? I know what they meant. That's an interesting thing to bring up, actually. If you know what they mean, no need to fucking correct to be super perfectionistic about it. It's like my person is a terrible speller, doesn't always use correct grammar. And I used to correct him all the fucking time. But I always knew what he meant. You know? Like, so why? Who gives a shit? If it's not important to him, it's important to me. Maybe it's important to other people out there, but he's made his way through life thus far just fine. So is it really worth fucking bitching about? Beware illusions that skim the surface. I mean, that's an illusion right there. Skimming the surface. Well, it's not right. Well, it's not correct. It's not the correct way. There is no right or wrong in this world. It's only yes or no. Now my mind is going towards like all kinds of spiritual matters, but I don't think you care about that. I think that ultimately, because it's like, well, there is, but ultimately what works is what's effective, and what's effective varies from person to person and also from situation to situation. It's very situational. You'll be surprised at what can work. And the unique and creative ways that other people, and this person is very creative. This King of Wands, it's a very creative type person. You'll be very surprised and inspired by the creative ideas that other people can come up with that never entered your mind, because you're so focused, hyper-focused even, on doing things the way that you've always done them. Don't miss out on being inspired by a person and being supported by them either. Let your feelings out, all of them, even the ones that scare you. No one said this whole life thing was a race. It's okay to slow down. So this is your advice from your guides and angels. And this is directly, and I'm placing it here for a very good reason. That's my intuition calling there. With the unlovable thing, let your feelings out. I think a lot of this like repeated pattern has been internalized now. And this reading was really letting you know that it's not like because you're unlovable at all. It's because of those other things that we talked about, right? But that's all things that are under your control. Now, that aside, the first step of healing, this is the guide. Let your feelings out. Experience, allow yourself to just sit and be with the feeling of feeling unlovable for a time, to really experience fully and emotionally what that feels like. And that is the way that you release it. There's no other way through it. And I think that we avoid going into those darker places because obviously it fucking feels bad. But also we think that if we can just say, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. Like a big part of that reading was trying to tell you it's not true. But this is coming out to say, don't let that get in the way of you processing and moving out this feeling of being unlovable. You cannot logic your way out of what's already been internalized by your body. The body keeps the score. Let your feelings out, all of them, even the ones that scare you. So that's a call for you to deeply think about how much that feeling of failure and the repeated pattern has made you feel like you're the problem, and how that made you feel like you were unlovable. I think the nicest thing that I've seen in this reading, and that's what I'm always looking for, is personal agency. And you do have a great deal of agency here. You have all the agency in the world to turn this around. It just means that you've got to change your perspective on what is actually happening. Is it them? Is it me? Well, it is both. But when you started to say, okay, it must be me because I've seen this repeated pattern over and over again, and what's the common denominator? That is very fucking wise. Some people never even get to that place. You're right, you are the common denominator, but it's not in the way that you thought it was, where you're unlovable. It's just that you took an approach to try to overly control and micromanage a charity case instead of letting yourself pull back, take the reins off, focus on yourself, and open yourself up to experiencing another person's way of being. And that ultimately is all you have to do. And it has nothing to do with being lovable or not lovable at all. So it's very affirming and a relief. If I really think about what it would be like, to be in this situation, it's a relief that you don't have to continue experiencing this anymore. Now you have the key. I know that's what Virgos be looking for, is what's the solution to the problem? Let's get it done. That's the key. You have it now. No one said this whole life thing was a race. It's okay to slow down. This is going back to healing this concept of being unlovable within yourself. It's not a race. The timing is divine. On top of that, you've got to fucking heal this shit before you can move forward, or else you're just going to carry it and it'll rear its ugly head. And it's okay that all this happened, but we're here now. And that's what's most important to recognize, is that we have the cards that we've been dealt, literally, and let's attend to that and stop worrying too much about how we could have done things differently. If you didn't know better, how are you going to do better? But now that you know better, you better do better. And part of that is to heal and process the pain of feeling unlovable. I keep going back to that because it's like, I feel like when I watch a lot of self-help shit, I'm going to get something else for you. This one, I feel like this is a good Virgo vibe. when I watch a lot of self-help content, it's like heal your shadow self, blah, blah, blah. And it just is so impractical. And it's like, what the fuck does that even mean? And so I want to come with just like a very literal thing for you to do. And that is to sit down and think about how painful it is to feel unlovable. And then in the process of doing that, of crying your eyes out, you release a lot of that stagnant energy. And instead of going further into that energy, you now have this information to say, okay, I feel like this, it hurts, it's horrible, but thank God now I understand what I've been missing out, like missing. Not just missing out on, but missing. The missing piece of the puzzle that I've been missing is that I am trying to do too much to control and manage the other person. I need to take a step back to love myself, how I am, single or in a partnership, and then also make space for someone with a bigger presence that has a full life, that has their own things going on, that has their own particular way of doing things. Make space for them, and just take a step back from trying to rush in to help and do everything for them and do things the right way. Even take a inquisitive approach of like, let's see how you live your life. Maybe there's something I can learn from you. All right, so let's get one of these success cards for Virgo Venus to send them on their way for the rest of February and on into 2026. Start living, number 49. And look, they're carrying like this fucking heavy ass shit. Okay. Forget the becoming. Relax. You are perfect. Life as it is perfect in every moment. You are you. If there is anger in you, what can you do? You must accept it. If you try before everything else to be above this anger and then try to live, you will never live. Listen to me. Accept this anger and live. You will see that living, the anger will disappear. Whatever transformation occurs through living, not through preparations. There it is. There it is. Accept that you feel unlovable. Process that. Then you can live. It's you're thinking about ways to negotiate around all this issue and to think your way out of it when you just have to accept, I feel like shit. I'm burdened too much. I don't want to go out. I don't feel like I have a family. No one loves me. Man, you're not going to hear that shit anywhere else. I'm telling you, I've been watching readings by other readers for years. You're not going to fucking hear that anywhere else. You have to accept the reality of where you've gotten yourself into and where life has put you into too. You would have done better if you knew better, right? So like, accept the reality of where you're at now and really feel it and process it and know that you're moving in life from that basis. And then everything else will heal itself through that. It is a spiritual matter. It does seem paradoxical, but I'll tell you this, you already tried everything else and it didn't work. So take a chance on this and be an experimental thinker and see where that takes you. So I hope that was helpful, Virgo Venus. If you like that, check out your rising sign reading. It's already posted for the month of February. You're going to need to know your exact time of birth if you don't already have your full birth chart. But and then I'm also going to do sun sign readings for the entire year of 2026 at some point. Yeah, I hope that was helpful. Thank you for letting me read for you. And until I see you next time, bye.